So I thought I would make a short video myself and show you how I go about approaching this, and hopefully this one will be a little bit simpler than the videos I posted as tutorials. Let's say that I gave you a page that had 5 animals on it, and they already had names, and I've purposefully named them something that someone wouldn't guess. Their names seem to be the wrong kind of names to give that animal, and I did that on purpose because in this case, you're the one making the key that is going to tell the reader what the animal's names are. So they shouldn't be able to guess those. You're telling them by having them use your key. So when I start these keys, the first thing that I do is I look at the animals that I've got to work with, and I try to find characteristics. Characteristics like, claws and hair and noses and ears and tails and all that stuff. Try to look for similarities and differences. And what you're looking for to start your key is some way to divide that group of animals pretty much in half. Now, it's going to be impossible to do that perfectly because there's 5 animals on this page, and that doesn't divide by 2. But we could divide it up where 2 are in one group and the other 3 are in another group. So when I look at those animals, one of the things that stands out is that 3 of them have a tail and the other 2 do not seem to have a tail. So I could start my key out that way. I could say 1A does not have a tail. And I could tell the ones that do not have a tail. Now there's 2 of them, so I can't name them in this step because there's 2 of them that fit that description. So what I have to do is I have to tell the ones that do not have a tail, I will say go to step 2, right? And the ones that do have a tail, I'm going to write do have a tail. I'm going to tell them go to step 3. Okay. So that tells the reader in step 1 that if the animal looks like this, you're going to go to step 2. But if it looks like that, you're going to go to step 3. And that's dividing those animals up into 2 small groups. So now I'm going to skip down to step 2. And I'm going to take care of the ones that did not have a tail because that's who I sent down to step 2. That's this little koala bear here and the owl, right? So in step 2, I've only got 2 to work with, so I can name them both in this step. But I got to find some difference between them. And that's pretty easy. I can say has wings. And then I'm going to put the name of the owl because that's describing him, and his name is, or her name I guess, is Bessie, right? So I'm done with Bessie now, and then I could describe the koala bear and say, well, it has a nose, or it has claws, or it has fur, or something like that. But if you keep it really simple, all you have to say is no wings, right? Because that sets it apart from the other one. And that one with no wings is going to be Leo. So now I'm done with the 2 that did not have a tail. And since I told the ones that did have a tail to go to step 3, now I'm going to skip all the way down to step 3 and start dealing with the ones that do have a tail. Now, there's 3 of them, so there's no way I can name all 3 of them in this step. If you're dealing with more than 2, you can't name them both there in that one step. So what I have to do is name one of them and send the other 2 down to the next step to be named. So all you've got to do is pick out something that kind of stands out about that particular animal and use it to name it. So I could say has horns. And the only one that does is the cow, so that kind of sets it apart. And I'm going to type its name there. That is Hootie, right? And then in order to keep it simple again, you don't have to describe the other animals. Just say no horns because that sets them apart from Hootie. And then you tell them go to step 4. And then down in step 4, you're only left with 2 animals you need to make a difference between, and it's the lion and the pig. So you could say has a mane, and that would be the lion, and its name is Curly. And then in step 4B, has no mane. And that would be Teddy. And then you're done. That's it. Now, notice a couple of things here, though. At the end of every sentence, there has to either be a direction telling the reader where to go next to find the answer, or the name of the creature itself. If you have a line that doesn't have a direction of where to go next or a name on it, then that line will trip up the reader and they won't be able to get you through your key. I hope that helps. That's as simple as I can make it. And if you just go look at your sheet of creatures and do exactly the same thing, it should work out real easily for you. Sometimes I think these things look more confusing than they are. So good luck. If you have any trouble, just let me know.